supporting top 3 so heavily with eliminations worth 2. If you can really tie it together with the eliminations across 12 games, you walk away with crowning the champions as the most consistent and unarguably the best players on NA East. And that's what we're going to do here today, as 2 of them are set right now in the lead to take it. But as Vivid talked about in the pre-show, we have seen these teams go down early before outside of placement. But I want to point something out right now, Monster, coming into this final game. Slax, Jack, and Acorn have only had 1 game of the last 11 where they have gone down without placements. Only 1 where Commandment, Sent, and Edgy have had 3. So right now, consistency actually does favor Slax, Jack, and Acorn. It would have to be 1 of 2 of the games that they throw to go down before 17 player teams.
Yeah, and let's just bring in, might as well rope in Day, Miro in reverse to this as well, because they, in the last 2, or the last 3, they've fallen twice outside of the big placement there too, with no eliminations, and that's why they're hard stuck at 253. So you have to think, as we're focusing on this team, they've given away those 2, you know, it shouldn't happen anymore. It really shouldn't happen anymore.
You have to think, last 12 games that we saw of Trio FNCS Finals, that team was the most consistent on the day. They won by a solid 20+ points over Centered Edgy Commandment. They've had the consistency in the past. They were set up to be not only the first players in NA East to have 2 times FNCS titles under their belt, they were going to do it back to back, and that's what that team has been triumphing back to back. But unfortunately for them, it's looking like Commandment, Centered Edgy, Slax, Jack, and Acorn have set the pace, but here they are. They're setting up. If they can get an early trio wipe, if they can play aggressive, and look at this, they aren't playing scared. They're not trying to hold on to 3rd right now, Monster. This is the movement of a team that is trying to take 1st with a
Wait, did they show the leaderboards?
And if they push this fight, this is everything.
Who's in 1st and 2nd?
Not playing for 3rd.
Acorn, Jackson, Sackets in 1st, boys. Our only hope
is up at Caddy's corner, right behind them, and listening to all this chaos go down as the team that rotated out was
That's the only team I like that's winning right now. Bizzle and Guga are in 5th.
Alright, got it. They need to get a win this game.
It's perfect for the points they need to catch.
Am I right?
A 3rd place is a lot of limbs.
They have a substantial gap to close here. It's a victory Yao's worth, so they have to outpace everyone else.
They in reverse. They want to go for back-to-back SNCS
on their performance right now,
and they're just rushing everybody, bro. They go full on W King Grand Finals.
At least that top 3, because we know how prestigious that is. The guaranteed invite.
Well, and
how many points is a kill? How many points is a kill?
2.
They're playing so.
Alright, how many points is like a win?
Fantastic. I talked about it earlier,
30.
Our top 3 teams are all teams that played together for the last FNCS finals, and all of them placed top 5. Slax, Jack, and Acorn came in 5th place in the last finals, and now they're set to do it in 1st.
No, like, let me explain.
The consistency,
a win
chemistry, finding
plus all the
placement
points is 30 points.
Is what ultimately leads to success. We're going to potentially see a podium finish today of teams that we've seen in this situation before. That means a lot going forward into a year where we have 3 more FNCSs still to come.
Yeah, for sure, and there's well over $500,000 on the line here. So if everything else wasn't enough, if the pressure of just, you know, proving that you're the best and maintaining your lead and staying performance in shape wasn't enough, it's the extra cash that's there too. It's all riding on the line here. These fights that they're taking, they're nerve-wrenching. They are nerve-wracking for them too. You have to be careful. You have to play perfect Fortnite right now. And you cannot afford to miss a shot here. You just can't.
You just can't, and even though this is the 12th game of the weekend, we still have 27 teams, 79 players. We're teeing up for what I imagine will be probably just less than what you need for active Storm Surge. We need 70 players alive by the time the next zone closes, but at the same time, I have to think players are still in this one. They're still showing up big. It's for practice, it's for pride, and Reverse gets another elimination onto Crunchy here, so they are closing that gap. We're kind of telling this story as a 2-horse race at the top right now, but 3rd place, Daymir and Reverse, your FNCS champions. They're closing the gap with every elimination being worth 2 here, as Slax, Jack, and Acorn are getting tagged up a little bit on this rotate as they're pushing onto Chimp, Tabney, and potentially Teo. There he is, trailing from behind.
They have to be careful. Chip, Tabney, and Teo have been on fire the last couple rounds, making it into endgame after endgame, fighting with the best. So for Acorn, Slax, and Jack right now, they may just find a team that's hot on the streak right here in top 10. It's an 8th place team. It may not be a team that's in the race for top 3 or first place, but it's a squad that still has thousands on the line here, and their reputation as well as one of the dark horse teams to really perform well this weekend, and they're doing it.
Yeah, 8th place team. This isn't an easy team to walk through right now. Jack, Slax, and Acorn, we talked about how they've built up kind of like a legend of going for these mid-game fights, taking down full trios. We've seen that in the past, but we haven't seen it that much this weekend, Monster. That title really has gone over to teams like Dame, Miro, and Reverse, where we talked about how coming into today, Miro alone had more eliminations than 30 teams in this field as Acorn sets up, gets the big
crap.
This
First place is below
right
on Surge.
when there was only a few
No way they're going down like
separating
this.
first from second. If they get a full trio wipe here, or if they get taken out themselves, this is going to shift up the leaderboard so fast.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the most crucial fight they could decide at FNCS
right now, because they are playing to push their lead forward, not just hold on to it.
Oh, and they do manage to get the knot, pick them up, and get the shakedown here. That'll be all the information that they can extract out of Teo right there. And it seems like Tabney and Chip back off, and they leave him there to be finished off and taken out. Big performance, big win right there for Slax, Acorn, and Jack. And you know what? It's still worth a lot. Like I said, to that 8th place team, there's thousands of dollars on the line now. If you slip out of the top 10, if you rank your way up to the top 5, the incremental pricing increase is crazy. You really want to stay in the running right now if you've made it this far.
Centered Edgy Commandment. Look at the loadout, Monster, on Centered alone right now. This is what has made this player and made this team's reputation. They are the low ground kings for a reason. Coming out of Misty Meadows, that drop spot fits their playstyle perfectly because they get that almost guaranteed Dragon Shotgun. I've talked about it. Condor, the NPC at Misty Meadows, one of my favorite characters in the game because I also love that shotgun. Centered puts it to such good use on the low ground. I've talked about this before, and people have always asked, how does Centered Edgy Commandment play low ground so well with the fire spreading from the Dragon Shotgun? Centered's aim is so good that if you didn't know, you hit every single pellet on that Dragon Shotgun, the fire doesn't spread because it's absorbed by the player. And that's how deadly accurate Centered is with his shots, that's why you don't see this team running around in the fire builds on low ground. That is why they are so insanely dominant, and they have that win condition right now on Centered.
It's the subtle things, it's the little things, and that's what separates, you know, the normal player from an exceptional one. These guys are well above the average. They're a cut above the rest, several, if you will. But hold up, take a look at Commandment, who's holding up this big tower here. Where is his teammates? Where is the rest of the gang? Are they inside the stealthy stronghold? Yes, they are. So they have a wide spread going on here. They have to be careful. Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day are moving up the mountain. If they sniff out, it's only one player up there. I mean, they're known to jump on those kind of weaknesses and take advantage.
They've got to be really careful. That's a big spread. And what an endgame right now. Hunter's Haven, it doesn't kind of get that same fear as what a Misty Meadows Mountain endgame does. But look at all the valleys. Look at all the hills. You've got that giant waterfall. You've got everything in this endgame. Pretty much no matter which way this pulls, it's going to be difficult for this team, as you can just, even without the minimap, right, Monster, you'll be able to sense where the terrain is as all of these teams try to huddle up and get the prime position on these mountains to play into this endgame. No one wants to set up down in the valleys. Everyone wants to have their kind of, I don't know, their hair in the breeze up there as Acorn, Jack, Slax have a mountain. Clicks, Bizzle, Booga have a mountain. We saw the Commandment Centered Edgy have several mountains right now. Everyone's setting up for this end game.
All the big names are in position. They're where they need to be. Like we said, we saw Reverse 2K, Miro, and Day just on the opposite side behind that other little mound there, sitting up underneath. Commandment, there they are, inside a building, being able to replenish all of their builds, which gets them nice and comfortable. But that's the widespread. Commandment's way over here, Sensitive and Edgy. Opposite side, they have to be careful. Even crossing back now to try to get back to Commandment is going to be a risky one. The longer they take, the more likely teams are to migrate on in. Luckily for them, there's not a lot of squads looking in here, not a lot of situated teams looking between this little crevice here, and they do get to get back, but look at the material it's costing them. That's a lot. That's a little setback for them.
And they get the tags out. Now, I noticed Center was actually juggling extra meds into their builds as well. He had spare big pots as well. Now they get the airdrop, so things looking fantastic for this team. 26 teams alive, 70 players. We are not going to get active surge, but we saw this last game. There was no 70 active surge, but it went down to the 50 as all the players that are still in this are focused up and they want to perform. Keep your eyes on that feed. You're looking for any of the top teams to go down. In case you've just tuned in, you don't know what's at stake. This is the last game, the 12th game of the NA East Trio Finals, and you have Slacks, Jack, and Acorn in first, Commandment, Centered Edgy second, Daymir Reverse in third, and all of them are jockeying right now, trying to take that first place, as you have Bucky's team in fourth and Clicks is in fifth. So those are all huge names. If any of them go down here, it will mean everything, as if one of these teams goes down before placement, that'll be it, and we'll see players run away with it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And look at the pressure going on here. Zypha and Twexy go down. I think that Stretch on the other side to pick up the loot, though. They're going to go ahead and snatch all this up right here real quick. You can see they start to mark it out, try to see what they can find. It's not going to be much, but yeah, those elims actually fall into Zate and Saf's hand, so they don't get it. They still only have one elim, but at least they get some tags for it, so it's not for nothing.
I'm pretty sure we saw Slacks, Jack, and Acorn get that one elim as well, right? So that 5 points should still be holding right now.
I think I gotta get off. I will see tomorrow, man.
That is one from having. There it is. That is the difference right now from.
I gotta get off.
And these 6 players are some of the most
Jack, and Slacks.
And honestly,
right now, they might need Surge. I don't know. The Surge hasn't popped up yet.
Centered and Jack especially.
Alright, see you tomorrow.
See you, bro.
I'll tell you how it goes out.
And how much it means. I know they're playing for first, not for the Champions pickaxe, not for the prize money, but for the pride and the accolades. That's why they do what they do, and I can't wait to see who walks away with it. I have my pick on Centered Edgy Commandment. I'd love to be right for my own pride, but honestly, seeing either of these teams win it will be so exciting, but who is going to be able to do it? They're both heading into endgame. All top 5 teams are still alive, Monster.
Yeah, it's about the dignity, that gratification you get from taking it all. That is what these guys are fighting for. That is literally the difference maker. It's what the best here. Acorn, Slacks, and Jack, though, let's evaluate the situation. Loot looking pretty decent. That's solid. Above the surge threshold as well. Very comfortably. That's going to last them a zone or two's worth. So I'm liking the position this team is in. I'm loving the load as we're circling through these 3 individual perspectives. There's chug splashes across the board. Big pots, minis, and shieldfish alike. This is solid.
Slacks, Jack, and Acorn have a winning loadout. Commandment, Centered, Edgy also have a winning loadout right now. None of them have an excuse for how this end game goes, but they are set up in very different situations. If Commandment, Centered, and Edgy manage to get this zone on top of them, it would be massive, as we have Nosh, Jamper, Paper, and we have Booger, Clicks, Bizzle in 4th place. Everyone's setting up for this. We have 10 seconds. The final game, Monster. Half zone. Which way is it going to go? Who is going to be blessed and who is going to be challenged? It doesn't mean it's all over just because you don't get the zone, but we know how important this is, and it does. It pulls across to Clicks, Bizzle, and Booger. They're going up for the high ground. They're going to try and make it 4 Victory Royales out of 12. They're having the absolute Cinderella run here to bring everything back.
They want to fight. They want to fight for it, and they're not here to give it up. Harpoons are going to come out from Clicks. Imagine if he pulled someone off there. That'd be crazy. He's not giving up his opportunity to do it, though. He's still attacking all enemies in the line of sight. Here goes the Storm Surge. It is out. It is active, and that means players are going to have to get fighting. Yes. Yes. Look at the players here as well.
They have to be careful. We saw Clicks' team chop out Zate's team in a very similar situation, right? And I even saw Bizzle take to Twitter to gloat about it a little bit. You don't want to see Bizzle, Clicks, and Booger fall there if you're a fan, because they built up high and they're reinforced, but not quite enough for my liking for how high up they are. Jack, Slacks, and Acorn also got this zone right now. Saf is making his way across. Macwood is taking down Ages in the feed. Where is Centered, Edgy, Commandment? They had a complete opposite half. Have they made the rotate, and how are they going to get here? There they are. They're making their way through the builds, but once they come out here, once they hit the open air, it's all going to be down to them to pick the right paths. And what a good rotate from this team. They're splitting up a little bit, though. I hope Commandment, Edgy are going to come back up Centered. Looks like they're going to try and break their way through. They got to be careful here. There's a team in there. Centered takes some tags. This is your 2nd place team just making it to half. First place team is already in. They all have the loadouts. 3 teams to go down before placement. No one is going down early.
Yeah, and let's not forget Reverse 2K, Miro, and they're also out there amongst the wolves. There is so much threat here in the field. there is so much threat, and they're not just safe just yet. They're gonna have to inch their way in just a little bit more. It's Avery on the other side of the wall. The other team that was to the left has already moved. They're gone. Here's Acorn, Slacks, and Jack trying to get another position up, trying to get a better angle coming into this new zone. There's so much congestion here because it went up and over the mountain. Now it's gonna go down and out through the valley to the open field. This is a nightmare last game zone. This high ground hold from Clix, Booga, and Bizzle, it's not good enough. This terrain is too volatile. They're gonna have to give it up.
This is the zone that will literally wake you up in a cold sweat. This is nightmare fuel. It is going to go across and over the waterfall. You need to stay up. You can't drop down. One misplaced step, one wrong move, one wrong bouncer, one opponent that wants to break you out, and you are going to fall all the way to the very bottom and potentially fall out of your place on the leaderboard. But if you can stay up, if you can make it across, if you can bridge your way against all these players, you will survive and you will potentially win it. Look at that drop right now as Acorn is going down. No, Acorn, Jack, and Slacks, very deliberate, phenomenal play from this team. Bouncing the front side, staying in line now. They want to be beneath everyone else's builds. They don't want to be the team on the top, and they don't want to rely on another team. They're building the tarps. They look phenomenal. Can Scented, Edgy, Commandment get down in such a good position as well, or are they going to fall early?
I like that they're keeping a low profile, staying away from the other opponents. It looks like they got a refresher as well. This is massive, and those are big pickups there. That's more loot for them to work with. That's more for them to go ahead and power their way through. They're one step closer to being your FNCS champions. This is such a race. All of the teams we need to be here are still here, and now that they're finding Elims, it's going to allow them to continue to maintain the lead.
Everyone is still in this right now. We saw EU come down to the steamy endgame with the top teams all going head-to-head. You and me, Monster, said it's going to be hard for NA East to top that or even match it, but that is exactly what they're doing. All of our teams are up still here. We have a nightmare zone. Zayt, Saf, and Strex, the kings of the high ground, are on height. Clix, Boozer, and Scented so low right now. Commandment and Edgy, they're on the back foot. They're 70 below. This is their last-ditch effort. Bottom right, keep your eyes on that. Everything is on them. Only 37 above. They need to hold on. They are clutching it very little right now, Monster, to try and hold in this one. Scented goes down. It's just up to Edgy and Commandment. Jack, Acorn, and Slacks are still up, and they came into this game with a 5-point lead. Edgy and Commandment, what can you do to hold on to this?
Face Bizzle
if
there.
Day finds Night, Miro's gonna find the last tag onto Scented there too, so that's a team that's finding tags. Remember, it is a 3-way race right here for first place. Look at it. There's Day's eliminations. Day gets knocked by Zayt on high ground. This is back and forth right now for all the teams that matter, and it's so much pressure on Edgy's back. Edgy brings someone down into the box. Will he be able to find it? It's back and forth, and I think he does. It's onto Aviv. They're going into a box-to-box fight. Right across from them, Jack, Acorn, and Slacks. They can see what's going on, but they're not looking across. They're looking down, and the punishment comes back. This is so close here.
Edgy still picking up eliminations. We have our low ground kings with no low ground to play. This is essentially a sky base. Edgy goes down. It's all down to Commandment, but he's still getting eliminations in the feed. He has one, but he is now a solo in second place, versing a trio. He's stepping up. He's doing everything he can to hold on to this. Commandment has shown such skill here today. We've seen some of the best players I have ever seen in Fortnite, but Commandment needs that. Nothing short of pure brilliance will keep this team up here to take first place. You have Commandment as a solo going up against Jack, Acorn, and Slacks as an entire trio. He has no builds, trying to jump his way through this. He's dropping down. He's going to his home on the low ground, but in a zone like this, you don't want to be here. He's got nowhere to go. He jumps. That's it. Second place is down. Slacks, Jack, and Acorn in first place. They are still up. This is potentially their victory lap, Monster.
Yes, definitely now, and Acorn is trying to jump down. He gets taken out. It's up to Slacks here and Jack to pop off. Pull in as much as they can to solidify this home run. And let's see if they will be able to take it home on the low ground, though. Kanata, Macwood, and Bucky here still picking up points. The race for top 3 is on for them, and they've made it all the way to top 3 here today. So many eliminations. Who are we going to see make it back? Miro is still in this. That's a second place. Miro has so many eliminations. Wait a second. First place is not guaranteed for anyone. Not just yet.
It is not.
Will the FNCS champions do it? It's so close.
They took it down. Miro dropped down there. Miro actually managed to take out Slackjack and Acorn. Third took out first there for points. Kanata, Macwood, Bucky are down there. We have Zate's team on the high ground. Kanata goes up right now. He goes off the bouncer.
Gosh.
He has that legendary tack shotgun. Kanata takes down Saf right now. These are two of the biggest teams in the business. Kanata's team needs this. They're in 4th place. They're fighting for 3rd. Bucky is trying to secure that invite straight into next FNCS finals. Zate, the king of the high ground. Can he do it? It's going to come down to literally one tick. 10 health.
No.
Zate falls. Bucky just manages to win it with 10 health right now. Monster, that was everything you want from a game of Fortnite.
They just went toe-to-toe, gun for gun, shot for shot, blow for blow, and Bucky's team takes it. Kanata, oh my gosh, what a game.
But we also still had 2nd place. Commandment Centered Edgy going into that. Centered went down early. Commandment Edgy held on. Commandment had to make the desperate jump off high ground. He had no builds. Slackjack and Acorn went down. They secured the placement points though, but was it enough? They went in on only a 5-point difference. Everything just shook up.
The fact Miro was there too. Miro had upwards of 10 eliminations as a trio there. They got 3rd place. We know the significance of getting those placement points. They surely had more elims than Commandment. I don't know who's going to take this off.
Okay, I don't know who's going to take it. Either way, we have to throw it to the desk. That is going to be it from me and Monster Deface. Aussie Antics, thank you so much. We appreciate us having us. Analysts, break it down because this is going to be so close. I don't know.
Okay, first off, before we say anything, all right, thank you, Monster Deface. Thank you, Aussie Antics. If you guys are not following those two and these two, please take a second because they poured their heart and soul into today, and we could not have asked for anything else. Okay. I can't believe that it came down to a 4-point difference. But your trio's champions out of NA East, who held on to the title. That's right, it's Slacks, it's Acorn, it's Jock. We are talking 4 points difference, boys. Commandment, Centered, and Edgy. They almost pulled out all the stops and overtook. But Slacks, his trio, they managed to hold on.
Wow. I mean, that last game that we've just watched had absolutely everything you could have completely asked for. The top 4 and 5 teams all alive in the top 6, plus Zay in there as well. And look at the difference. 4-point difference between Slacks, Acorn, and Jack, and Commandment, Sent, and Edgy. We saw Commandment, Sent, and Edgy in the last game struggle with be taken down. And if they'd managed to get that little bit earlier, a little bit more surge, keep them going through the movement, keep them going a little bit further in that end game, man, we could have seen a complete changeover. And how can we not talk about Commandment's huge solo clutch that he made there, getting way more placement points after the other two had gone down? Like, every team here in the top, what an incredible performance today.
No doubt that Centered and Edgy were performing so, but I feel like there was just so many moments on the broadcast where we got to see Commandment alone in the end game, clutching up these points. And he clutches up the 2nd place for his trio. Like I said, Centered and Edgy probably played so well, but we just saw so many highlights from Commandment that I would go ahead and contribute that clutch factor to him edging that 2nd place out for his team. And yes, Aussie's prediction and Reese's prediction, you guys do surpassing by 3 points because Bucky and Kanata and Macwood secured the 3rd place spot with just 3 points behind. But man, looking at that top 5, Slacks, Commandment's trio, Bucky's trio, then Reverse's trio, and then Clix's trio, like that is, I don't think we could have asked for like a better top 5 right there. That is a solid top 5.
I mean, over top 4, there was only 12-point difference.
That was like the best FNCS of all time. Insane. Congratulations, Jacob. Wow. ladies and gentlemen, who are gonna be your FNCS Finals champions? This is it. The second I press R2, we are going to see your FNCS champions. And your FNCS champions are Acorn Jack and Slacks! Let's go! Congratulations. Congrats. And they didn't even go into the first game. They only played, I think it was the fuck? Wait, it's glitched. I don't know. It's glitched. Whatever, bro. This consistency, man. Only one bad game. And that one was pretty much very stacked. 22 minutes alive. Congratulations. Acorn, Jack, and Slacks, your NAE FNCS champions. Let's do a recap on every season. We're gonna watch West in a bit. Europe, Warrior Europe FNCS champions. They are Hen, Janice, and Chapix. Win it all. Congratulations. That top 5 is spicy, full of really good players. Congratulations to all them, and congratulations to everybody who played. Oceania, who did it? Looters, Speedy, and Mods, win it all. Never mind. Yeah, Looters, Speedy, they won anyways. Sync, don't know how to pronounce that name. Freshfell and Newbitune finished 5th. Jinx, Power, Worthy, and Alec, decent. Brazil's service, who could it be? Who are your Brazil's champions? Let's see. I mean, it's King. It's King, bro. Wait a minute. FaZe King. What? King lost FNCS. Wow. Thought he was gonna win. He's not even top 5. Don't care about Middle East. Congratulations to those, but hi boys. We're gonna end the stream.